So I was lying around the other day and... Yeah, okay, who am I lying to? I was deflated, decomposing on the couch. There was not a single coherent thought, nor need, nor desire in that skin bag of mine. Only that small, dim lighter fire of mine, soul or whatever. And I thought, what the fuck is up? I tried to move mentally, although looking back I have no clue where that twitch of life came from. Some hidden place, maybe. Well, and so, out of a habit, I mentally pushed against. Short, awkward void of a moment. Pushed against... Against what? I forgot. What was I going to push against again? Instead, I found myself balancing in the thin air I was sitting in the whole time either way. I didn't even fall. I just did not get the back pressure I expected and was used to. Puzzled, in this not fallen but felt off state, I invited myself to the dinner table with a stern look on my face. I was exercising the dialogue, or maybe a monologue. Yeah, I don't know. There's a silence so loud it is practically turning into a white noise. Me, sitting at the wooden, heavy table with a thick tablecloth, which I'm rubbing, similarly sternly, with a stretched palm of my hand. The movement is not fast and is very dough. From time to time I scratch it in the similar direction with a set of 4 nails. I'm watching my hand closely, and with a strong, questionable facial expression on top of that. I feel a weird string around my ears and back of my head, but I don't question it. There are more serious topics at the table. From the other side of the table, I feel me sitting, trembling with itchy eyes. Alexander, I say finally, trying so hard not to sound so harsh, but at the same time, failing miserably. I can feel my trembling eyes twitch. Hand slows down the rubbing and eyes stare somewhere into the middle of the table. What is it? What is it? Maybe I noticed some smudge on the tablecloth. I pray for my distraction. Something flashes in the eyes, but I can't read what. I thought more of you. I articulate clearly and softly. Well, as softly as it gets in the dense atmosphere I'm creating for this stupid son of a fucking bitch of me. What were you trying to push against? I feel the sweat in the air. And the desperation. It has its own scent, you know. The hand stops. The eyes look up and almost meet. The scene goes. You can imagine the replicas in that play. Play at boards, which mean a whole world. World of a table with a dense tablecloth. Yeah, something was missing. A realization sparked somewhere in some crease of that skin bag. The ideas very slowly rolling in that sludge. I'm pretty used to missing. A lot of things go missing unnoticed, especially in my life. I still remember the first time I freaked about that as fuck. And I semi-perpetually kept freaking the fuck out about that. But each cup had its edge, and that one had reached its own already. The thing is, I made myself grow composed with losing things. I came to an acceptance that we don't really ever own anything. Like really anything. We are just passengers in these wet bags of meat and blood and bile. And we just lease every fucking thing. Oh god. We all hate our constantly enlarging subscription-based services, don't we? Well then, these are some bad fucking news we hate to hear, eh? But it's like that. We are borrowed this body, which can be taken from you anytime, and you cannot do a single fucking fuck about it. And we at all do not own anything beyond that. And physical world properties, the least. You may have your documents and licenses and all the papers on which it says your name is the owner, but you will never really truly own anything of it. There is no unique ID, neither of your soul nor that shit, so there is nothing to note, even the relation. We are leasing hard. Hello, Shocker here, but what you also don't own are your emotions, dreams, ideas, opinions. None of them. They are in fact separate entities, and you are a host. Punch. And so all of the hand scarves and t-shirts, and I don't even know what I have lost. I can't have lost it if I have never even owned it, right? We are in the river of time and space, being carried all over the place, being smashed together from time to time for a certain time, and then we flow along, somewhere off. Vanish somewhere out. And with that knowledge, I did not beat myself for that. I have not had beaten myself for losing something in a very long time, but I took it as a possibility to dive into an investigation here on what is it now that I am missing. To leverage the situation and to look at things from a little fresher eyes, somewhere detached from exactly where I was. I almost forgot about the almost empty skin bag I was. Got a little too excited, a little too overambitious there, buddy. I struck the whip and slashed myself back into the row of death. I lay there, jaw slightly down, arms hanging off the ledge of the couch, eyes empty, ears too. I rocked a little with my limbs hanging limp. The flat, white ceiling looked interesting. In fact, so interesting, I felt an emotion of anger arrive. The fuck am I dead over? I recall the phrase I used to repeat almost as a mantra back in high school. It went like, we will sleep in the grave. We will sleep however long we will please. In a grave. Well, that was such an era. I had a big dream. I had a lot of dreams, in fact, like all of my life. There had always been some dream that I was chasing. The fact that most of them were false or plain misleading, I'll keep quiet. Yeah, I was stupid. Or was I? Wasn't I just misinformed? Wasn't I just in such a fucking mess of a jungle of hormones, lies, deception, and maybe mainly immaturity? No, that sounds like victimizing, and in no fucking world will I let myself victimize me. I am no victim, motherfucker. I did this all to myself. I come from a good family terms, I had options for a good education, for a top life. I managed to pick some of it up, and the rest, well, yeah, maybe I have missed the time window where picking up would be appropriate, or even possible at this moment. Whatever rotten and out of reality dreams, I kept chasing them like a rabbit. It's insane what I was able to pull through. If I really wanted enough, though, because also a lot of times it didn't really mean I was tearing fucking leashes off, but still, nevertheless, I had some direction, however energetic I was about it. I had a vector in my mind in which I would move through. The hardest grind may have been the university, probably. I almost didn't make it, but I needed it and wanted it, because the target, the dream, was the adult life the university meant acquiring. That means own place, own money, own freedom. And that's probably the only dream I still agree with, and is the most realistic I have ever had of a dream. Other dreams, like of girls or money or whatever, those are hopefully long behind me. That was, and is, actually still, a stupid and a really low quality dream all around, in context of dream value evaluation. Pull up the PowerPoint presentation, because the dreams come in a different qualities and a few different indexes that are evaluated about them. It composes of risk, achievability, how much sense does the resulting situation make, the size of the total burnout and resignation risk, and so on and so on. Some of those indexes are quite counterintuitive, like, don't get it twisted. For example, the risk is desired to be kept very low. You don't want to risk it too much to fail, because it's not only about some stupid money which you could lose, you can lose a fucking life energy, which is simply financially invaluable. For me, for example, the tragic dream I couldn't stop dreaming of was fucking Prague, Vinohradské, wooden carved, high windows, banging some finest fucking chicks and making a shit ton of fucking money. And yeah, that's pretty stupid if you ask me now. That's pretty fucking stupid. Almost all of it, in some sense and shape and form. And it's even stupider with what I know now, because I know almost for certain those magnificent large flats are empty. They are sad and empty, mostly empty. I find it so ironic. Also, hookup culture is a big boo for me, and money, well, I don't know. In some amount, yeah, it's nice, but I don't see it as a key to happiness necessarily. And so I believe the dream was injected into my mind. It was a foreign dream, not really from my head, or well, partially the my part being the details adjusted to fit me and my desires. There is a market of dreams, you know, and pushing your dreams onto others is a great move to push your agenda. It's not really a fucking wet market as you would imagine intuitively. You give money, you get product, and there's no money in this field. It's more meant like a gallery of a large width, a palette, if you will, and also a palette of your potential perpetrator. There are a lot of good reasons for someone else to persuade you to chase what they will say are your dreams, but truly are just a very convenient psyop. Don't let yourself be utilized like a fucking horse, like a fucking workhorse. Be critical to the dreams of yours. Like, are they really yours? Is the target situation any realistic? Isn't it like super detached? Isn't it just disguised, unfulfilled, very narrow and specific desire of something? Back on track, I really want to emphasize that producing yourself a good and sensible dream is a craftsmanship. As I mentioned, there is a market of dreams, and if you are not feeling creating it on your own, you can pick up one, I guess. Just be alert. Me personally, I have reached my largest dream. I live on my own, independently. I have truly reached independence, and that's all I wanted for the last 7 years at least. And implicitly, I have currently no urgent, really definitive dream nor direction of a future. I don't know where I'm headed for the first time in my life, I guess. And the blood bile bag realized that it is missing a leash against which to pull, by which it knows its direction. It is missing a purpose. It is missing a dream, something to push towards. I have problems crafting a new dream without it being delusional and detached, and I'm not willing to go risking some bullshit that I maybe don't even believe in. Maybe the true point is, I always wanted what I didn't have, be where I wasn't at the time, and be what I weren't at the time. And I grew sick of it, of this constant dissatisfaction, and I hate this trait of mine. I'm battling it, and I'd say pretty successfully for the past year, but it's still a tragic thing to have and combat. And so yeah, here I'm sitting, aimless. I'm where I wanted, and so I guess the new dream should be to... I don't know. Be where I'm not? That's pretty comfortably plain and vague. Všetky moje sny vyskočia cez okno, oknom vyskočím tiež.